The Sharpen Tool in Photoshop, this just basically lets you add detail to soft edges of the image. Edges are basically where there's a difference in color and contrast. How I like to describe it is basically like dark or light lines. Like you can see the wrinkle in this forehead right here. If I were to just click on it, just like the dark lines and wrinkles in the head and then the light hair, they just become more pronounced. Now, I'm clicking and dragging back and forth while holding down. When I do this, if you just like come through and just click it a couple times, just dab it, you're gonna get a more like even effect. It's not gonna be so harsh, right? Say I come over here, I'm just gonna keep going on one side of his head. You can see the details and the lines, they just become a lot more darker, lighter. Make sure to not overuse this. I'm just doing this to show you what it actually does. But when you're using it, you're not going to want to just hold and keep going back and forth like I am, right? You're going to want to come up and just, do a couple little pass-throughs just to make it a little bit more noticeable, to bring out those edges and lines. See, this looks nice and even. It brings it out a little bit. This just destroys the color when you keep holding it too long, right? If I just keep holding it and go in a circle, you'll be able to see it pixelates it and it brings out random colors. If I were to zoom in, you can see all the blue, yellow, green, and red pixels popping up. And that just ruins your image, so you don't want to do that. So the top options, we got presets. Then we got the preset brush picker. After that, we got the brush settings panel. You're probably never going to need to use this for the Sharpen tool. I got a whole video on the brush settings panel in the regular brush tool tutorial, so make sure to check that out if you want to learn what all this stuff does. But you don't need it for this video. After that, we got blend modes. This only has 7 blend modes. We got normal, darken, lighten, hue, saturation, color, and luminosity. If I were to click darken, you can see when I go over, it makes the darks more pronounced. If I click lighten, you can see it's making the lighter edges more pronounced. Usually you're going to use one of these 3, normal, darken, or lighten. But you can play around with all of them and see what's best for your image or project, whatever you're working on. After that, we got strength. And this literally just sets the strength for the stroke. So if I turn it to 100 and do like 3 pass-throughs, 1, 2, 3, and see what it looks like. If I turn it down to 1, 1, 2, 3, you can see a big difference. Usually you'll probably just leave it set to around 50. After that, we got the brush angle. You don't really need to change that more than likely. And then after that, we got sample all layers. This is if you have multiple layers in your composite. Say you got a brush stroke on top of this and you want to sharpen everything together, the brush stroke with the image, then you'll make sure to click sample all layers. Protect detail, this just minimizes pixelation while protecting details. Just leave that checked more than likely. Then last but not least, this is pen pressure for size. This is only if you got a pen tablet. The harder you press, the bigger the brush tip. If you press real lightly, the brush tip's going to be smaller. And that's about it for the Sharpen tool, guys. If you got any questions, make sure to comment below. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.